that was, so the Duck Duck Goose, that was the first grade class. And I decided I was going to try the same thing with my fifth grade class, which was right. If there was a game that they would want to play. So I said, I gave the same basic premise to them. I said, look, is there anything you really want to do? And naturally, the first thing they said was, yes, we'd like to play a game. And again, I think it was because of the environment that was so conducive, the circles, etc. And I asked them, well, what kind of game would you like to play? And one kid said, hot bread and butter. And all the kids kind of laughed and smiled. Yeah, let's do that. And I said to them, well, okay, so do you need anything to play the game? Oh, says, yeah, we need a belt. I said, oh, what do you need a belt for? Oh, so we can hit people with it. So there I was, But I felt like I was committed because I told them that they could play, if they want to play a game. So, okay, all right, you need a belt. How about, and I have an office in the boys' bathroom. Well, it was like kind of a boys' bathroom, dressing room. It was, a fancy place, this thing. And so I go into my office and I get out a boffer, which is a big foam rubber sword. And I figure, hey, this is going to be great. And they can hit each other as hard as they want to with it. And I bring it out and I show them how cool it is. And I even let one of the kids hit me with it and they could see that. And they said, no, it has to be a belt. A belt. Okay, so wait 1 second. And I run back into my office. I have a newspaper. And I bring it back and I show them, look how you can just really whack people with it. And it makes such a loud noise. And it has to be a belt. This game is hot bread and butter. It has to be a belt if you're going to play hot bread and butter. So I says, all right, look. If you're going to be playing a game that you might hit each other with, if anybody doesn't want to play, you really should feel like you don't have to play. And you can go and you can sit on the outside ring and watch the game. And if you want to come in later, you can. So we'll just wait. We'll sit here for a minute. Anybody who doesn't want to play, please, nobody moved. So, all right. Okay. All right. So I definitely decided not to join in the game. And I stood a little far back. And I said, okay, go ahead. And so the game starts like this. So first everybody was in the center circle, and they were close together. And they all they were supposed to close their eyes and kind of just mumble or something, so they couldn't hear or see. In the meantime, the kid who had the belt went around, and the amphitheater space was pretty large. So he went around and tried to find a place that he could hide the belt. And there were plenty of places. There were pillars that you could hide the belt behind, and doors and other kinds of cool things that you could, or even right underneath the risers, it depends on how strategic you want to be. So the kid hides the belt. He comes back into the circle, and he says, hot bread and butter, come and get your supper. At which time, everybody opens their eyes and runs as fast as possible to try to find the belt. And whoever finds the belt picks up the belt and gets to hit everybody else with the belt. In the meantime, unless they're at home. So everybody either runs home or runs away. And the kid is just running merrily along, hitting people with the belt. Now, okay, so first of all, I was in a state which Mel Brooks would call high anxiety. Because I imagined the principal walking in with the superintendent to demonstrate what a powerful program we were developing here in theater. And to find the kids running around after each other trying to hit each other with a belt might have been counterproductive at that moment. But I promise I felt that I didn't have my faith, but the trust that kids had in me said you could play it. Then I also noticed that while they were playing it, nobody, so a belt has two ends. One of the ends is the soft tongue. The other end is a hard buckle. That was my catastrophic expectation, that one of the kids was going to hold on to the soft part and start hitting kids with the buckle. Nobody did that. My other semi-catastrophic was that they would hit each other with the soft part, but maybe on the face or maybe really hard. Nobody ever did that. It was more like counting coup, just a kind of a stroke with the belt. So that taught me a lot about how kids can really even play with danger, but do it safely, because there's even though as an adult you kind of forget that, but kids do have compassion, and they also understand that, maybe not so compassionate understanding. They understand that if I hit you hard with the belt, you're probably going to hit me harder when you get it. So the game continues until somebody. What happens then? Somebody finds the belt, hits everybody with the belt, and everybody's at home. Then that person gives the belt to the last person, and everybody repeats the game. And they were really having fun, and everybody was involved. It was boys and girls, and they were all just like hysterically enjoying themselves. And I started thinking about the game in the way similar to the way I started thinking about Duck, Duck, Goose, as that this was a piece of theater. And the more I thought about it, now, okay, so these kids are fifth grade kids. And what is the drama in the life of a fifth grade kid? It's really, the game starts out at a place that they call home, which is, and the belt is like the power of an adult, right? I mean, in some homes the belt is the power of an adult, but even just purely metaphorically, that's the power it really represents the power that you have when you grow up. It's when you move from the home as your base to your peers as your base. And the only way that you can get the power is if you leave home, risk yourself by going far enough away from home that you might get hurt, and are lucky enough to find the belt. That's the only way that you can get it, which is exactly the truth of what happens as you grow up. You have to take the risk. You have to join the community. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to be lucky. And I couldn't get over the almost one-to-one correspondence between the theme of that game and the theme of kids' lives. And it was that was like the foundational moment in everything that I did from then on. It was what led me to games in the first place, was my theater background, and what the game itself demonstrated to me and how they were playing with it. It was poetry. It was like this beautiful. I couldn't have written a better play to demonstrate the nature of growing up than this one game. And they were all in the game. They were all playing. So it was better than theater because there was no audience. It came from them, and they guided it and controlled it and made it theirs. And it just so I knew that games this was really the right path.